Welcome. I'm Dr. Ann Armstrong, and today we're going to be talking about a research-based constructivist design model for online learning. When the unexpected emergence of COVID-19 precipitously caused teachers and students in the US and globally to move from traditional classroom education to fully online, chaos erupted throughout the world and was especially disruptive to K through 12 education and higher education institutions, their administration, staff, and faculties. Earlier, globalization caused rapid change in political, economic, social, and technological systems, requiring a need for diversity in education and teachers and students with new competencies, including knowledge of educational technology systems. From the current research, it is clear schools, teachers, administrators, and students were not ready. What is required to help administrators and teachers when delivering learning online? Today, we're going to go through an agenda where we introduce the R2D2C3PO framework and each of its elements, which consist of 8. We'll talk about each separately. So the model is one that's based on constructivist design philosophy, reflecting beliefs that knowledge is constructed by the learner and learning goals should include reasoning, critical thinking, understanding and use of knowledge, self-knowledge, self-regulation, and critical reflection. Bonk and Zhang in 2006 developed the first R2D2 model for online learning that provided constructivist conditions for learning and modes of instruction. This model was enhanced by me, first in 2014 and then again in 2016, and eventually validated by senior instructional designers. The new model has 5 additional components, as well as shows instructional strategies and learning activities for all of the 8 components. So let's look at the first, which is reflect, writing. Sorry, we moved over a slide. Read and listening. And we've always known in instruction and in learning that reading was critical, as was listening to our professors, to other students, to everybody around. So what kinds of instructional strategies and activities can we expect in an online model? You can read the materials online or off. Create participant manuals for each event. Listening audio materials, podcasts, number of studies showing that podcasts are very effective. Synchronous expert lectures, live authors, presentations, tutorial, and demonstrations. You'll see we have made some recommendations up here as well for conferencing tools. Anyway, you can always download these manuals. You're downloading a lot in this webcast today. Chat pods used for sharing reflections with other participants. We use polls a lot so that we can capture self-assessment anonymously with other participants. And breakout rooms are used for small group discussions, debates, mock trials, role play, practice with partners, and focus groups. Display. Visual representation is always one of the keys to success that we have. And we can include pictures, diagrams. You're seeing a lot of tables in this presentation, multimedia, video, charts, animation, virtual worlds, mobile technology. Lots of demonstrations can be extremely helpful, showing people the process steps, concept maps, the logic steps, real world work examples, and testimonials and other types examples. We also like to see instructor live video-based feedback of work product and student work. What are some of the tools we can use to accomplish this? Downloadable participant manuals with visual representations of key concepts. I really want to stress the importance of participant manuals, and if you're launching this to a wide group of people, trainer manuals. Facilitator, faculty live presentations, using a SharePod with a PowerPoint presentation with robust visuals to help explain each concept. Visuals of the facilitator, like you're seeing here with us talking. which enhances teacher presence, which is one of the elements that you had in Garrison and Arthur's community of inquiry model. And then links, there's some really cool video out there, YouTube's, TED Talks, Khan Academy, all sorts of things that you can watch. And then we have to do something. We really learn when we actually start putting into practice all of these kinds of concepts. So we can have people do adaptive learning, case-led or short cases, case studies, gaming, practice, project-based learning, collaborative group projects, cognitive apprenticeship, and assessment. What kind of tools can we use for these? Again, the participant manuals with case, project, collaboration, and apprenticeship instructions. I mentor a lot of doctoral students right now writing their dissertations in instructional design, and I have a lot of instructions to help them through that process. Live facilitator faculty presentations and modeling all of the different activities, and make sure that you always allow time for reflection and question and answer. I love breakout rooms, small breakout rooms with whiteboards and chatbots for both individual and collaborative work, and polls available when needed. Breakout rooms for practice with partners or in larger groups such as triads. I do different things when I'm doing a presentation for like 3 to 4 people versus 1 for 200. So everything must be adapted for different size groups. And then have the students actually do live individual presentations in the main room or in the breakout rooms. So after doing, what comes next? The 3 C's, 3 of the add-ons here. And their coaching, conviviality, critical incident questionnaire. Coaching is critical these days. People need mentor coach guides to help them not only learn, but then to apply learning into practice. So we can have cognitive apprenticeships, we can have scaffolding, we can have interactive feedback. We can do this through live voice, chat, and private chat, peer coaching and breakouts, and private chats. Conviviality, make it friendly, make it friendly. Students want to be connected to their faculty, to their presenter. So what are some of the things we can do? First of all, ground rules to encourage participation, collaboration, cooperation, and trust. It's often good to start off with ground rules and then ask your audience, what would they like to add to that? What else do they want to add to that? I always like to have one of the ground rules that we're going to try to have democratic discussion. And Dr. Stephen Brookfield, in his discussion as a way of teaching with Stephen Preskel, talks about how important it is for us to set up things so that everybody gets a chance to talk. So we don't just hear for those 1 or 2 people that are comfortable sharing, but we get everybody to share. And another one of Dr. Brookfield's suggestions is to use a critical incident questionnaire. Now, critical incidents go back to Flanagan in 1954. But what it allows us to is get to, especially in classes that last more than 1 day, get immediate feedback from the students on the different instructional events. And we can make them downloadable or a anonymous poll. So lots of different ways to get that information to you. And critical in this day and age to plan and organize. You know, it was one thing when the professor used to get up in front of a class years ago and just be able to talk. But now we've got all this technology to manage, and we really have to prepare. So what kinds of things can we do to prepare? First of all, introduce people to the technology, have some kind of a fast start, a quick reference guide, that participant manual. I can't emphasize enough how in online, it's just really critical that you have those kind of materials for the people. A timeline for all activities. How long should it take? How much time should the student be giving it? Time for reflection. A lot of times when I am doing, I actually do a lot for Dale Carnegie of training as well. And when I'm doing that, I'll present something, I'll model it. I'll have them think about it. Then I'll have them practice with a partner. and then maybe practice in front of the whole group. So there's time for reflection between each of those, and they get better and better. I always say practice makes permanent. It does not just we don't have to always be perfect. Most of us, perfection eludes us. And then it's important to have a teacher or facilitator manual if it's more than one person doing it, so that we can be consistent and make sure we cover everything. So some of the tools: fast start and quick reference guides on how to use the web conferences tool, given ahead of time. Some people actually do like a fast start initial introduction event so people can get used to the tools. Again, that participant manual containing content and exercises for people to do during the live session. And then the nice thing is, after the live session, they've got that manual to go back to, practice different things. Maybe they only pick one or two things to master at first, but later they want to come back. Reflection, reflection, reflection. So important to build into all of those live events. And then self and group assessment in polls. So that is another thing that you want to make sure that you're letting people constantly have tools to self-assess so that they know where they are, where they stand, and what else they need to do related to the project. So when you put all these together, we have a research-based enhanced R2D2 framework integrating constructivist design principles and values, and stakeholders, including administrators, instructional designers, and teachers, can explore different techniques to deliver solutions that are learner-centric to culturally diverse audiences. There is a dearth of practice-based research that explores model use. So I invite each and every one of you to review this model. There's a number of articles out on it. I'd be happy, you can write me at Armstrong, so 2 A's, at ncu.edu to send you some of the articles and to collaborate with you on how you might do a study to implement the model. So we enhanced R2D2 to add more instructional strategies, learning activities, and web tools. We added 3 elements, the 3 C's, and the planning and organization piece. And then we need to practice. We need to put this into practice and then write studies on how that worked into practice. So I am thrilled to have you all here today and glad I could share this with you. And it is time for questions and answers. Thank you very much. I look forward to getting to know all of you better.